What's good, everybody? It is your girl, Ticket to Sean, right here at All Things Ruthless, home of the Ruthless Addicts. And I want to say thank you all for tapping in and tuning in and kicking it with your girl just for a few moments as I bring you guys this Tyler Perry's Sistas recap. But before I dive into that, I want to say happy Juneteenth. Yes, June 19th is the official day to celebrate Juneteenth, but we're definitely going to celebrate it all week, all month. It's absolutely one of those holidays that was definitely earned. But before we get into Juneteenth, let me tell you guys, in 1894, to escape 33 years of his life as a slave, Henry Box Brown shipped himself in a cargo box from Richmond, Virginia to the abolitionist zone in Philadelphia. Henry Brown completed the 350-mile journey, barrel for breathing, through the air holes he opened in his cold centimeter or 60 centimeter, you guys, wide cargo box, and spent the remaining 50 years of his life as a free person. This is definitely Black history, you guys. This is why we celebrate Juneteenth. Another pivotal moment in history has definitely went down in the city state of Baltimore, or Maryland, just Maryland in general. Maryland had a whole situation where their bridge, broken down. So I just want to say a salute and thank you so much to this mayor, this governor of Maryland, also known as Governor Westmore. So this morning, or yesterday morning, you guys, he issued his first pardon as governor and granted clemency for 175,000 convictions related to the possession of cannabis and certain convictions for misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia. Today's executive order is the most sweeping state level pardon in any state in American history, and is going to change the lives of hundreds of thousands of Marylanders. Listen, you guys, so y'all know back in the day, the weed situation was locking people up. So now a lot of people, over 175,000 of clemency. Does that mean that over 100,000 Marylanders are going to actually be released from the prison system? Anyway, salute to him, Governor Westmore of the one and only state of Maryland. And a special shout out to Milwaukee, y'all. Milwaukee County, they definitely came through to celebrate the whole Juneteenth situation. I'm absolutely not just surprised, but proud of our different cities and counties everywhere that are doing that thing. Now let's dive into Sistas. So we see where Aaron has brought in Karen this dual baby stroller, and she is just always, as always, so disrespectful to this man, but she's giving him mad attitude, and her mama finally decides to let her know, look, you're wrong about Aaron. This man is trying to be a good man to you regardless of the nature of the situation. He's basically accepting both of those babies and trying to treat them as his own. So just do better, Karen. So anyway, we definitely see Tamara being sneaky on the couch. She almost got her little freak on with Gary, who of course was the other clown on the other phone. And she ends up getting caught, or, well, not really caught, but Hayden does walk in the room and hears her, having a conversation. But she tells him that she's talking to someone by the name of her quote unquote Aunt Beatrice. And he's like, I've never heard of her. He's suspicious. He's definitely suspicious of everything that Tamara is doing. He even goes to Gary and talks to Gary and lets him know he thinks, he loves her, but he thinks that she doesn't love him the way that he loves her, and that she's up to no good. So then at Jordan's home, we see this little white dude who's supposed to be his assistant, his campaign assistant manager, that's supposed to be working on the campaign. Anyway, we see that on the last episode, he was trying to put a bug and he actually succeeded by putting a bug on a picture of Andy as well as Jordan, which was placed right in front of the couch, so that way he could hear everything, or basically so that Gary could hear everything that goes on. So we also know that Gary has bugged not only Andy's place, but he has also bugged Jordan's place. And Jordan and Andy have a conversation, and Jordan's just letting Andy know, look, I can't really focus on the campaign or anything else until I find out that my pregnant sister is okay. So then there's a conversation between Sabrina as well as Maurice, and Sabrina is just saying how she really wants a baby, and she just there's like no options, and they're saying that Maurice is saying black men aren't running to sperm banks to donate their sperm. That's just not something they do. We don't trust medical science the way that everybody else does. And so he suggests Calvin for Sabrina's baby daddy. And she actually has some thoughts. She definitely thinks about it. And then she goes to Karen and asks Karen, well, what do you think about me asking Calvin to be my baby daddy? For a second she didn't want it, but then she thought about it, like, why not Calvin? And so now they may reach back out and bring Calvin back in to be the baby daddy, but we don't know just as yet. But Karen let her know, look, how can I judge as to who you choose as your baby father? Like, I got two exes that are my baby daddy. So girl, do whatever makes you happy. Of course, Pam is in the background ear hustling, but we also finds out that Pam is attracted to Dre and wants to ask him out. So then, y'all, this crazy scene happened. This is a moment where Danny went to apologize to old boy, and she was like, look, I'm sorry. And of course she decides to get advice from Zach and Fatima, and Zach tells Danny, you should get naked, you should cook this man a nice good meal in your birthday suit with a apron on. Just cook him a good meal, give him some good slop on the knob. I'm just saying. So Danny goes to his office, and she's just talking to him and saying that she apologizes, and because Fatima told her, tell him how you feel. So she does a combination of both, but then she's in the process about to go down on this man and go down on Tony, and his wife or ex-wife walks in, but of course she introduces herself as his wife, and he's like, no, you're not my wife, you're my ex-wife. So now Danny is introduced to the ex-wife. So anyway, you guys, that was pretty much it. That's what really went down on the show, the Tyler Perry Sistas tonight. It was a great episode. Of course, I would watch it again and again just to see how they're going to get out of all the shenanigans that are going on. Again, y'all, it still baffles me that Danny has yet to let anybody know that she saw blood in Gary's office. There has to be something that is not quite right. Of course, I feel like these two are actually going to get caught. Tamara and Gary, they're at some point going to get caught because Tamara has video, and she let Gary know that she would basically send that footage to Hayden, the whole sneaker leak situation. But anyway, you guys, just stay tuned, stay locked in, because Sisters is absolutely crazy. But I'm always here for all of the shenanigans. Definitely trying to see, or definitely staying locked in to see who will basically aggravate me the worst on the next episode. It's always Gary for me, and then Karen is a good second, and then Andy, because Andy knows that there was blood on the wall in Gary's office, and she didn't say anything. Now, on the next episode, we're going to definitely see her talk to that FBI agent, and hopefully, this will speed up the process of them finding Penelope, y'all. Well, anyway, you guys, I want to say thank you all so much for tapping in, tuning in, kicking it with your girl for a few moments. Make sure you guys are celebrating in good faith and in love the fact that we have finally gotten our Juneteenth holiday. For those of you that don't know what Juneteenth is the day that we celebrate, which was June 9th, 1865, where the slaves were officially freed. We finally got our freedom, especially the slaves that were out in Texas, because pretty much the rest of the world were aware that slavery had ended. However, the slaves in Texas, they were not informed properly that y'all don't have to be slaves anymore. So they finally at that point in 1865, June 19th, you guys, the message was sent. A soldier went down and let them know, hey, you guys are free to freaking go. You are no longer slaves. I know I said that in layman's terms, y'all, but that's just what it really was. And I'm so glad we're still fighting for a lot of freedoms. But at the end of the day, the biggest freedom was the whole slavery, or the biggest capturism, the whole slavery situation. So I'm glad that we are free from that. Listen, y'all, me in this day and age, I probably wouldn't have made it. I would have been a defiant slave. It is what it is. So salute to those past slaves, those past, our ancestors who did what they had to do to help us get to where we are, to now we have a lot of freedoms, a lot of things that we can actually implement, and there's no reason why anybody has to, or we need to allow anyone to hold us back. So keep grinding, keep doing what you guys are doing. I salute all of you, okay? Thank y'all so much for tapping in, tuning in with your girl Tika Deshawn right here at All Things Ruthless. Again, happy Juneteenth and stay ruthless.